Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the boat floor redo. It's another nice day here, so we're going to get some extra stuff done.
Hi, I'm Dale, and this is Dale of All Trades. I'm constantly finding myself having to repair something, install something, or find out the hard way that something just isn't worth the money. So I figured I'd take you along for the ride, and hoping along the way to inspire you to try your hand at some repairs yourself. You can expect to see repairs, reviews, how-tos, and anything in between. A special thanks to anyone who has already subscribed. Please consider subscribing. The more the merrier in this journey. So let's figure out what's going on now and get to it.
Hey everybody, welcome back to part 2 of the boat floor redo. We get some of the more tedious stuff done, like resealing the old floor with some epoxy that I showed you in a previous video. Also, we seal the new floor and find out we need to put some more floor pieces on and some bracing. Without further ado, let's get into that now.
Since I last left you in Boat Floor Part 1, I have experimented with the epoxy. I have also had fans blowing on the questionable part of the old boat flooring just to get any moisture dried out 100%. Then I went ahead and vacuumed all the dirt I've been tracking in and out of the boat while figuring things out. I then used an old syringe laying around, actually for child's Tylenol, and injected the epoxy under damaged portions of the wood where it was the most severely rotted. Also injected it into the stringers of my boat. Then I proceeded to coat the entire rest of the floor with the boat using a paintbrush.
Alright, I have the epoxy all on the floor, as you can see there. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. Kinda hard to tell. Anyways, I've coated the entire floor where I think it could ever possibly get intrusion underneath the new plywood. Now I'm going to go into the garage and coat both sides of the plywood, which will probably be a 2-day process because you have to give it time to cure to flip it. So I'm going to coat one side, cure it, coat the other side, cure it, look at it. If I have enough, maybe a second coat. Then it's ready to install and put the foam flooring on, so it's moving along good. Okay, it's day 2, and I just coated the other side of the new floor with the epoxy. This floor is just a little bit tacky yet. You can hear it on my feet. Not that big a deal. I'm going to work around it because I need to keep getting some stuff done. Now, one quick correction I wanted to make from my previous video. If you haven't seen it, links are in the description as always. I kept calling this board right here that's really rotten out, I kept calling that a stringer. Now that's actually not a stringer. I was just calling it a stringer. It's actually just a framed in box for the fuel tank, to keep the fuel tank from shifting or moving whatsoever when you're out on the water. It doesn't provide very much, if any, structural integrity for the boat itself. Like I said, it's just there to keep the gas tank framed in. So being this rotten really isn't the biggest concern, because it is just framework for the gas tank. That is why they're not fiberglass in, because it's not meant for structural integrity. Now, the other stringer that you saw in the previous video that's rotten, where I vacuumed it out a little bit, that is one of the stringers, and that is structural integrity. So just something I wanted to clarify from the previous video. Now, what I'm doing before I put the new floor in is I'm going to measure the distance from my ski locker to my fuel sending unit. So if I ever have issues in the future, I can access it without ripping up the entire floor. I'm also going to take the time to measure as a secondary precaution where the seat goes. It's just another form of placing things exactly where they're supposed to go. So that's what I'm going to do now. And my notes look something like this. What I did off camera was cut a 2x6 piece of treated lumber for this area right here. Now, it's still pretty sturdy with that rotten corner, but I wanted some extra reinforcement. Plus, there is so much plywood missing in this section right here with where my foot was trying to point, that I wanted an extra board for support for the new plywood. Now, I already coated this next piece in the epoxy, and it's still tacky slash wet, but that's okay. I actually want it to bond to this stringer. This actually is a stringer. I want it to bond to it, and then I'll put more epoxy coated on once it's in the boat. So I'm gonna go get that, and then I will install it. Hey everybody, quick intermission here. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button if you're getting anything from this video series. I'm always posting stuff like this and stuff not related to this. So if you want to see more like this, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Alright, let's continue with the floor. Okay, as you can see, I already placed it in here. Now I just have to drill my pilot holes. Oops. So after I put the screws in, as you can see from the video, and then I went back over them with this epoxy, all the screw heads, anywhere I broke the seal of the fiberglass or the epoxy onto that 2x6. So now that has to cure, and I'm going to throw the gas tank cover back on. After that, it's let everything cure, and then I can start working on final fitment. I say fitment because there's the piece that goes right there in the engine compartment, and another little sliver piece that goes right there in the engine compartment. Also, one other side note for anybody that's watching this all the way through, I did check before I get any comments on that because of that stringer being rotten, the engine support is probably rotten. I did check that. It is not rotten. It's good to go. And the transom is solid. I've checked all the major things that have to be good are good. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching. Unfortunately, that's all I have for you in this part of the boat floor. The next part coming up should be very eventful. I should be getting the EVA foam flooring out, which I'm excited about, fitting that, and possibly installing it, finishing the series up. Again, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Hit the bell icon too, and you will know when I post the next video. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Okay, just like me, you've made it this far, stick around to see the end. In the next video, I find out that the EVA foam flooring needs a little extra help getting flattened in preparation for installation. I also get to the point to trim it and get it fitted on the new floor, along with gluing it down and wrapping up the entire project. And let me tell you, the end product really does look good. As always, the link to the next available video will be in the descriptions when available. Hope to see you in part 3 of the boat floor.